Yep.
Mr. Gore, you said day one your priorities are going to be going and hiring senior staff. Can you tell us any staffing issues that you've already addressed?
I have been working on it already. I'm talking to people. I will tell you one thing that has become very clear to me is that the former circuit attorneys who come out of this office are extremely devoted to it. They want to see this office succeed. It's important to them. And a lot of them are interested in returning. And that's what I've been spending a lot of time working on.
Circuit Attorney Gardner characterized herself as a progressive prosecutor. How would you describe your philosophy of prosecution?
My philosophy is to look at the facts and enforce the laws as they're written.
Would you say that you have more of a tough on crime stance here?
I would not say that.
Mr. Gore, congratulations, Kelly Hoskins, Fox 2 News. Can you tell us what were your first thoughts when you received the call from the governor that you were selected?
Well, I was extremely excited, energized, and ready to get to work.
With the staff that you've talked about possibly returning, what about this collaboration that might be needed in the near term as far as bringing in other prosecutors from other jurisdictions? Have you figured out the mechanics of how that would work?
That's another thing that I've been working on. That's part of the conversations I've been having with my fellow prosecutors. I've been in communication with Saylor Fleming, the U.S. Attorney, and talking with Wesley Bell, and we're going to explore every option. So that's definitely going to be a part of our efforts to stabilize the office. We're going to need a lot of support. And as I mentioned, we've already had some of that support from the Attorney General's office during the transition. And I think they're going to be committed to helping us out for a bit here while we get on our feet.
You mentioned public safety being a priority of yours. How are you defining public safety?
I define public safety as what any of us want for our families. You want to be able to go out and go through your daily activities without being concerned about any harm coming to you. I mean, just very basic public safety. I've been fortunate in my life that I've been able to grow up in those kinds of environments and live in those kind of environments, and that's what I want for everyone.
Our newsroom is still fielding questions today and every day, really, from victims who are still wondering what's going on with their cases, what is going on, in general with the office. What can you say to the public to reassure them that, to the defendants still sitting in jail for long periods of time, to the victims waiting for answers about what's going on right now and what you're doing right now for them?
Like I said, one of my top priorities is to stabilize the office and get back to seeking justice for victims. That's very important to me personally. We're also going to get back to fulfilling our obligations to the court, making sure that we show up where we need to show up and that we're prepared to proceed.
Going back to Mr. Gore, the staffing situation, how many senior staff do you need? How many have you got? How many total staff do you need? And how many do you have this morning?
So the term senior staff could be a bit vague, but when I think of senior staff, I think of chief trial lawyer, first assistant, chief warrant officer, chief of misdemeanors, chief of homicide. Those positions are what I'm focusing on first and foremost.
So how many do you currently have? How many do you need in senior staff? And how many total staff do you have, and how many do you
My
need?
understanding is, and I haven't started yet, but my understanding based on my briefings is that there is currently a chief of misdemeanors, and that is it.
What about
in terms of senior staff?
The old exclusion list, which was a thorn in the side of the relationship with the police department. Is that out the window now?
I will look at it. I haven't seen the exclusion list. I'm not going to, that is not my policy. So I am not, starting from day one, I'm not looking at the exclusion list. I haven't seen it. So my policy is going to be to look at each case individually, assess the facts, apply the law, and proceed from there.
What will be the role of diversion programs in the Office of Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore?
We're going to explore it. I do believe diversion is an important part of law enforcement. Like I said, you have to have a balanced approach of prevention, intervention, and enforcement So diversion's an important part of that, and we will look at that and apply it as we believe is appropriate.
Are you giving yourself a window to think about when you would decide whether you'll seek the office next year?
You said how
Are
long?
you giving yourself a window before you start to give that serious thought, or, because I know before you said it was a distraction, but it is kind of a political reality with the primary a little bit more than a year away.
So I am not giving myself a timeline. I'm still in the period where 100% of my focus is on getting the office stabilized, getting senior people in and getting to work. Literally, it's all I think about all day. Since I've been appointed, that's all I've been thinking about.
Gabe, the past prosecutor had a bad, at least a strained relationship with reporters. Calls weren't returned, interviews were a rarity. What is your relationship going to be with the people here that have to report on this office?
I hope very positive.
How would you affect that?
I'm going to be available, transparent. Of course, I'm not going to hold a press conference every day because I got to get work done, but it's important for the public to understand what the office is doing, understand the progress we're making, understand the things we're still working on. So absolutely, transparency is important to me.
In one of the cases
sorry,
that we're
the
still
last
looking
one.
at, we're seeing evidence that hadn't been turned over in 5 years, something that we've seen going on for a while. What are you planning to do to fix those issues where defendants are getting evidence? And do you think there's an issue with caseloads on prosecutors in the office?
So these are things where, of course, once I get to work and start doing a real assessment of the office, which is one of the things I'm going to start doing in this first week, I'll have a better idea about. But clearly, given the current staffing levels of the office, attorneys are carrying caseloads that are not workable. So that's why getting restaffed is essential.